Alrighty, this is actually going to be my first Path of Exile video with commentary. Main reason I wanted to do this one with commentary was simply to kind of just talk about my journey so far with Path of Exile and what I think of the story, ultimately. And so I'm just going to be playing in the background as I kind of go through. But let me figure out where I want to go to first. Because I think I want to go this way. But, it's funny because this is my first technically full playthrough of Path of Exile. I did play through very briefly the first act not too long ago. But this is my first full playthrough of at least Path of Exile 1. And funny enough, I actually got into Path of Exile very, very recently as a whole. And I actually got the bug through Path of Exile 2, funny enough. But the issue, and why I'm not playing Path of Exile 2 instead of Path of Exile 1 is I ultimately got hooked into Path of Exile 2 from watching a YouTuber that I quite enjoy play through the most recent update for it. And I was like, you know, I'm going to give it a try. I've heard about Path of Exile for a couple of years. Had never actually kind of gotten into it. Just, I don't know, ARPGs had never seemed my cup of tea, so to speak. But after watching, you know, this YouTuber play it, the story seemed really cool. The gameplay looked pretty awesome, looked very nice. And I was like, you know, whatever, I'll give it a try. So I go buy early access for Path of Exile 2, download the game. I hop into it. I play all the way through the first act. And I'm absolutely loving it. I have no issues. The gameplay is super fun. I play a sorcerer, kind of running a lightning build. There's just something about like an elemental build in games that just scratches like the Avatar Last Airbender itch of my childhood. Just having a blast. Love the story. Again, gameplay was super fun. First time playing an ARPG. And I was like, I think this is going to be like my new game. Like this is going to be a game I'm going to play for, you know, a long time. Like that's for sure. Well, the second I get into Act 2, I start having really bad performance issues. I'm talking just like really bad stuttering. The shaders aren't compounding, so it looks super like pixelated. Resolution tanks a ton. General like frame rate losses. And I started kind of huffing and puffing on the copium, just, you know, looking into other people's testimonies of the game, you know, not being optimized, and, you know, it's just not running smoothly for everybody. And it was just a lot of copium of me being like, it's not my system, it's just the game, you know? Maybe they'll put out an update soon that'll optimize, you know, the second act in particular. Well, I did everything that you could possibly do within settings, deleting certain folders, optimizing certain things within your computer, you name it, uninstalling the game, reinstalling, you know, verifying the folders, you name it. And after many trial and error, I simply had to just admit defeat and realize and admit that it was just my system. I have a pretty old PC. I've upgraded the components throughout the years, here and there when I had the time and ultimately the money as well. And the one that I've held off the longest is my graphics card. And that is my major issue, at least with Path of Exile 2, being able to run it. It's just my graphics card's super old, super outdated. Very little VRAM. I'm not even going to share what it is because I'm embarrassed by it, but ultimately I realized, you know, it's just my graphics processor. So I was like, well, I'm not going to enjoy the game in this state I like brute forced my way all the way through Act 2 into Act 3. When I got into Act 3, it got even worse. And so I was like, okay, well, I know I was planning on Christmas time anyways to upgrade my PC, my processor in particular. And so I'll simply just wait until that comes around and I'll just play it then. So I was like, well, I just have the PoE bug. I just wanted to keep playing. I was just really enjoying the style of game, and I was like, you know, I've heard of Path of Exile 1. I know it's a bit older, maybe a bit outdated in certain regards. I know I've always heard good things about it, but again, I just never got into it because, you know, I just wasn't an ARPG fan. I was like, but, you know, I have the time now. I'm not really having any other games to play, so let's check it out. So I downloaded Path of Exile 1, booted up the game, picked a witch, which is kind of the closest to the sorcerer class in PoE 2, because I wanted to do another elemental build. You know, zone in on the beach, and I go to click WASD, and nothing happens. And I'm like, huh, maybe I just have to turn it on in the settings. So maybe by default it's, you know, set to navigation by mouse. Check the settings, and there's no way to change it to WASD. Wow, those guys really spawned over there. And I think one of the reasons why I've never gone into ARPGs is often they are, you know, mouse-oriented movement, right? You click and hold or click to move your character. And for me, I just hate those kinds of games. I don't know why. I just have always not been a fan of them. I just don't like that style of movement and gameplay. And so I was like, you know what? You know, I've still heard great things. This is still Path of Exile. I'm going to give it a try. You know, I have the bug, so why not? And I brute forced my way all the way through Act 1. I just kind of speed ran it. Ultimately, didn't pay attention to a lot of different things, especially like the story. I didn't like my build. I didn't have a great understanding of kind of the gameplay and mechanics anyways, because again, I was just kind of brute forcing my way through it. And I finished Act 1, got into Act 2, and I just wasn't feeling it. I was just like, you know what? I just don't think this is for me. And so I kind of quit, stopped playing. But I still had the itch, man. I wanted to play Path of Exile 2, but I couldn't. I just couldn't play it. And so I was like, what the heck do I do about this? Because the big drive that kind of pushed me to play Path of Exile 1 in the first place was the story in particular. I really, really enjoyed the story in Path of Exile 2. And so I was very interested to see how it kind of tied into Path of Exile 1, especially from a lot of what other people had kind of shared about it who played Path of Exile 2, who had played the Path of Exile 1. It also didn't help, like, a big part of my struggles with my first playthrough is I played a witch and I was running like a frost build. Well, I didn't realize that you could buy extra skill gems as you like kind of went through the tiers, even in the first area. Once you kind of unlock them from the quests, like I literally thought the only ones you got were from quests or if they randomly dropped from mobs. So like I was using the same spell, which I know is pretty common in Path of Exile 1, and I'm not the biggest fan of it in the first place. But the spell I didn't really like. I didn't really like the build, the feel. I was still getting used to this type of movement. And yeah, everything just led to another, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I can't brute force my way through it. But like I said, even after I quit playing PoE 1, I had the bug. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I wanted to play PoE 2 so bad, but I was like, I can't. I don't want to play PoE 1 because of the gameplay and mechanics. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take a break. So I took a break for like a week. Oh, interesting. The mother of two, once the mother of three, weeps eternal. Okay, that's random. Took a break for a week. Just kind of detox from games in general. I had to, you know, mourn for not being able to play PoE 2 for a little bit. And then, you know, my desire to play the game and learn more about the story basically overwon my distaste for certain things. And so, booted back up PoE 1, and here we kind of are, you know, with this playthrough. And I've been enjoying it a lot more, because I think a big reason is I've been actually, you know, I am committed to the story. I enjoy my build a little bit more. Now I have a better understanding of, you know, actually how to get skill gems and kind of how they work together. I've been watching some people play PoE 1 to get a better idea. And as I mentioned, it was, you know, this is very story-driven based, so I'm a lot more invested into it. And I've been enjoying it a lot more since then. The mother of two, once the mother of three, weeps eternal. So I'm assuming I probably have to activate all these different statues. But, so, yeah, my main reason to kind of actually have commentary within this video is just simply kind of explain my backstory of how I even started PoE 1, kind of my general thoughts of it so far, as well as the story. Because the story's interesting. There's still some things I'm trying to wrap my head around, and obviously I'm still very early, and so I'm sure they will be explained. But I'm just gonna kind of run through kind of what I know so far, because like I have barely watched any sort of lore on PoE 1 like whatsoever, so I don't have like much knowledge of anything. Let's see. Yeah, we'll run this. So, what do I know about the story? Well, main thing is I am in exile from the island kingdom of Oriath, right? Oriath seems to kind of be the only, well, probably not the only thriving nation, but at least in this particular, you know, moment in time of the world of PoE, it's kind of the up and coming rising nation, right? So for whatever reason, holier than thou, we get exiled from Oriath and get sent to raid class, which is basically just like a death sentence, right? Show up to raid class. For some reason, you know, it's made very clear right from the beginning that things don't stay dead in raid class, as they put it. This guy's got some health. Yeah, he's got some nice health. Oh, dang. Okay.
Too much clutter.
Yeah, I'm going to have to portal out and come back in. So, dead things don't stay dead in raid class. And,
what do you want?
You know, basically a lot of raid class is these ruins, in particular from the Eternal Empire. And the thing that took me a second, especially in the first area, I'm learning more about it in the second area here, is because for a second I couldn't figure out if the Eternal Empire was like still around, if it had been recently destroyed, or they were like ancient, like they had already been wiped out, and like these are actually the, you know, the ruins. And, you know, after playing a little bit into Act 2, and I'm sure I'll learn more as I continue to play through the different acts, from what it sounds like is like they were recently destroyed, but like recent is like, you know, 50 to 100 years from what it sounds like, right? And that's just me spitballing. Like, it's basically just pulling numbers out of nowhere from what it sounds like. Because it's interesting kind of going from knowledge that I have of PoE 2 of this story, and then, like, comparing that to Path of Exile 1, right? Ooh, that's painful.
That was a painful spider. Okay, let's grab.
Too much clutter.
Yeah, I already have too much crap. Let's read the letter. There's no escape for me. Should our queen and her thaumaturge succeed, there will be no escape for anyone. What do we got? Vol Storm Call. Gosh dang it, I want a fire one. I'm trying to do a fire build and I keep getting these like sick lightning gems for cool like lightning abilities. Like, again, another freaking lightning one. Give me a fire one. That's what I'm trying to build, bro. Superior Quicksilver Flask. Ooh, it's corrupted. Okay, we'll have to portal out and come back to grab that. What was I saying?
What?
With the story, like I was very interested with kind of like the Eternals Empire, right? To figure out a bit more of, you know, ultimately how they were destroyed, how they're kind of connected to the beasts. And, you know, tidbits that he heard here and there, especially how it connects ultimately to Path of Exile 2, right? If at all.
What troubles you bring?
And at least from the story that I have so far, like,
Going?
obviously the Eternal Empire was wiped out, you know, somewhat recently, but still kind of ancient history. And the biggest reason was because of thaumaturgy, which is connected to the beast, right? Which is obviously the main protagonist of PoE 2. It's kind of funny because I realized that. I was like, wait, so the main big bad in Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2, at least story-wise, is the beast? When I found that out and kind of had a better understanding of that, I was like, that's kind of like a little ironic or even a little cheap story-wise that you literally have this same thing be the main like story plot of your game. But that aside, so the Eternal Emperor wiped out because of thaumaturgy, something with the beast. I have an inkling from a little bit of lore tidbits that I've heard and seen. Moving further into the acts, I'm going to get a lot more, you know, kind of detail and story on that in the first place. Ooh, Crypt level 1. So I wonder if... Wait, which of these places have I gone to? Dang, I didn't realize how big this map was. So I've been to there and there. I think I need to go to that one next to get whatever statues in there. Whoops. See, that's me trying to hit a WASD because I'm so used to that. Even with just Path of Exile 2. Oh yeah, look. 2 of the statues are glowing. One of them's not. Cool, so we'll go to that area. So I'm obviously going to learn a lot more about the story here, of course. Especially with the Eternal Empire and kind of what happened to them. That I know for sure. At least from, you know, everything that I've seen and kind of hints moving forward, because Oriath, you know, with Piety and Dominus, you know, the main Templar guy who exiled us originally in the beginning of the game, is they're very, very interested within about the Eternal Empire ruins of their knowledge of thaumaturgy and the gems, right? The virtue gems. Master of 2, once the mother of 3, weeps eternal. Alright, let's go back to this main area. I do want to read this plaque. I might go explore this little bit right here. Those guys always make me laugh. Alright. Because, I mean, a part of my, you know, ultimate playthrough is I want to clear all the maps, like, in full. I didn't want to pick that up. Which I know I don't have to do, but I just want to play through it all the way once. At least story-wise. I don't know how much I'm going to get into the end game. Ooh. A Chaos Orb. That's not bad. Alright, we'll take it. And dead. Alright. So obviously there's going to be some sort of big showdown in Oriath with Dominus and, you know, them screwing with Thaumaturgy. But I'm very interested to see, like, as we continue to explore deeper into the Eternal Empire, to get more history of kind of their downfall with the Beast. Because I know the Beast is still in this game, right? It's still a very prevalent thing with the story. So I'm interested to see actually kind of where it goes. And it's funny because, like, the first act is pretty linear. You don't get many quests, and it's just like, go to this area, fix this problem, help us so we're not dying. Kind of like how it is in Act 1 of PoE 2. And then in the second act, like, look how many more quests I have. Which I feel like a lot of them are just kind of... they're not even the main story quest, I feel. But it's kind of cool. I appreciate it. Let's see what this says.
Day, the second Socrato of Verusi, 1334 IC, the Army of Purity remembers its most devout and beloved servant, Archbishop Geoffrey of Frisia. As spoken by Geoffrey, only will and truth can prevail over the evil of our own kin. High Templar Vol, commander of the Army of Purity.
Okay, interesting. But one thing that was kind of throwing me off until... uh-oh. Here we go. Ooh. Ouch. Dodge. Are we getting round 2? Oh, I thought we were gonna get round 2 there for a second.
Much clatter.
Okay, yeah, we'll head back. So it's interesting going into Act 2, and it's funny because there's certain words that are close, and I could be wrong here, but these people, the Asmiri, these are like the remnants of the Eternal Empire, from what it sounds like. So Aramir is like an exile, but these people, like Yena, Silk, and Groose, like these are the descendants or kind of leftover people of the destroyed Eternal Empire. At least that's what it sounds like. It's a lot of extra life, but increased fire damage is pretty nice. Although that one's pretty bad. I'll take... oh wait, can I not wear it? Oh wait, because I'm selling. We'll swap that out. Because that ring's not very good anyways. Cool, statue all this in here. And then, this is corrupted. Can I improve it? No, it's because it's corrupted. Last 6 seconds. Last 3 seconds. Yeah, it's better. It's definitely better. 6 seconds of speed? Yeah, that's quite a bit better. And so, like, that's like this area in particular, learning from these guys, you know, reading the prompts, which I am doing. I mean, I'm sure you've been seeing in my videos, to kind of get all the lore tidbits that I can. Is it seems like these Asmiri are the leftovers of the Eternals, where they basically like have devolved because, you know, something that they did with the Beast basically kind of just flattened out their society and kind of set them back to ground zero, right? At least that's what it sounds and feels like from what information I have so far. But it's funny because, like, when I first heard it, I was like, wait, Asmiri, like Adziri? Like, isn't that like the Vol, like, queen, you know, in Act 3 of PoE 2 that, you know, ultimately, you know, wrecks the Vol Empire because she's trying to screw with the Beast? So I was like, wait, how does that make any sense? But
Fear
different.
gnaws at the entrails of the faithful and the faithless alike. Fear of the unknown. fear of the future. An empire requires leadership that can assuage those fears through example, through wisdom, through strength. An emperor lights the way through the darkened caverns of uncertainty.
Okay,
Give in!
this, like these weird trials of ascendancy, I don't really get what's happening here. Like, I understand it has to do something with, you know, your ultimate ascendancy. But I don't really get why I have to be doing this, you know? Oh, that was stupid. Ugh. Ugh. Can I go through the store? Yay! And like I have to do it at multiple locations for what it seemed like, because the Axiom Prism had one.
Shine boldly, so that all may find you.
Okay, when you looked here, you can see like these 3 were completed, and I still have like 3 more. I don't know why this is associated with Ascendancy or ultimately what happens with it, but I just try to look for every, and that's another reason why I'm kind of doing full clearing every map, because I have no idea also what I'm going to find in the different maps if I don't look through it. But yeah, I mean, so far I've been enjoying it a lot more. I'm interested to see kind of what the story has to tell me as I get further into the other acts. And I'm not in any rush. Like, there's going to be a new update soon with World of Warcraft with the Legion remix that's coming out in October. And I'll probably play that along with this, so the videos might slow down a little bit. But I am committed to playing through, ultimately, the full acts at least.
What'll it be then?
An Orb of Alchemy. That's pretty good. Let's see if I die or not.
Time to bag me a kill.
Oh no. Don't die. Oh, I am gonna die. Oh, she's dead. That was close. The only time I've ever died is basically to a mercenary trying to kill one. Because again, I'm not very great at this movement or combat. I'm getting a little bit better here and there, but I'm still not very good. That's for sure. Crypt's level 2. Oh yeah, there's still quite a bit of other area over here that I want to go. So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm in this in the long run. Like again, ultimately, I'm not even going to be able to play Path of Exile 2 to the extent that I want to until December. And so, you know, and in the time being, since I don't really have many other games to take my attention, and this is growing on me, you know, I'm getting used to the point and click movement. I'm still not a big fan, that's for sure. I don't prefer it. I mean, it's kind of a reason I never got into, like, League of Legends, as I hate this style of movement. But it's what it is, and I've been enjoying it a lot better now that I'm kind of actually committed to the story. I'm liking my build a little bit more with fire. I have a better understanding of the game, so I'm excited to see where it goes. But I'll probably record just for a little bit longer, at least in this episode, but commentary wise, this will probably be it for the rest of this episode. I tried to do anywhere between like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on, you know, where I'm at. I try to end on good endpoints that make sense, like story and map wise, but sometimes, you know, you just gotta hit pause and pick it up on another day. But if anyone does watch these, I hope you're enjoying. Even if it's just something in the background you put on, or you're interested just to see someone play through it for the first time and make a lot of different stupid mistakes, which I'm sure I am making. But either way, I appreciate you. Hope you had a wonderful day, and God bless.
much clutter.
Troubles you bring. Going?
Too much clutter.
What? Travel far.
My help is yours. Be well.
Your flesh begs to be stuck. My Azadi brethren ensured I never lacked for raw material. Care to do the same? Nobody walks away.
What troubles you? Going?
You are Dream Tender, my new name for you. Badness is everywhere around us. You bring us something good. Now, I promise to share. Let us awaken the spirit, bring even more good into this life.
Greetings.
Hello. What would you like to know?
The fell shrine is a shadow of what was once good in Rayclast. That sigil etched into its stones, it's a descry from when the Templar truly stood for something. To the ancestors of Ariath, the descry was a flickering torch in the night, a source of inspiration and comfort. Sad thing about torches, they go out. Keep your wits about you.
Hello. Going?
Yes? Remember to live.